biggest thing, kind of getting my feet on the ground here, is just getting to know everyone. I'm still trying to connect names with faces. I want people to know that I'm actively involved in this school district. This morning, I did 3 classroom walkthroughs with the principal. I did 3 classroom walkthroughs yesterday. And I'm getting acquainted with the kids. I'm learning some of their names. We had a little fundraiser football scrimmage last night, and I was trying to find a shady spot and wound up down where the cheerleaders were, and I got to know that little group of ladies. And I have gone to volleyball practice a time or two and looked in, and dropped in a chemistry class yesterday, and was very pleased with what I saw. But we, in a small district like this, you're kind of a family, so to speak. So we're getting to know each other. We're getting to know personality styles, leadership styles, that kind of thing.
Welcome to the podcast. There's a silent crisis happening in schools across the country. Students just aren't showing up. Chronic absenteeism is more than just truancy. It's a critical indicator of student engagement, well-being, and community health. Today, we are talking to a leader on the front lines of this challenge. We're joined by Dr. Judy Hubbell, the incoming superintendent of England School District in Arkansas, who brings a wealth of experience in this topic. Dr. Hubbell, congratulations on the new role, and thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. So far, the new role is great. Chronic absenteeism is in every school district in Arkansas. And, just to give you a little background on myself, I've made a career in working in impoverished school districts in the Mississippi River Delta of Arkansas and the Arkansas River Delta of Arkansas. We have huge poverty rate here. And so that is kind of the lens I see all this through. And we have chronic absenteeism with students, faculty, and staff. And I think there are some things that cause that. I'm not sure if the reasons I'm going to discuss are nationwide, but they're what I'm familiar with. COVID sort of blew us out of the water.
Yeah.
It's like that's when Zoom's caught on. And college students especially, they saw that they could sleep late and then do an online class, and they liked that. But you've got to see this through the lens of poverty a lot. You have so many children who come out of one-parent homes, and the parent has to go to work. And I get that. We all have to work. But they may have to leave the house before the kids get off to school, and the kids are basically left to get themselves ready. And that doesn't always happen. Now, if that'd been my own 2 kids, they would have probably had a kegger and gone back to bed. There's no telling. That just doesn't work. And in industrialized areas, you have a lot of people who do shift work. And sometimes the kids are left unattended at night, the older kids looking after the younger kids. And again, I get it. People have to work. But I think shift work plays into this. The one-parent home plays into it. And addiction. I don't know about the rest of the country, but crystal meth has taken over the state of Arkansas. It's just epidemic proportions. And when people are struggling with addiction, they don't always take care of things at home. Okay? And with faculty and staff, I don't know. It's like they just don't have a work ethic anymore. I'm a baby boomer, and, we boomers get up and go to work sick. But the younger ones, they just don't do that. And I do not know what accounts for intrinsic motivation. I don't know how that gets instilled in you. I think from the little bit of study I've done in the psychology of personality, that's kind of something you're born with. Now, I was always the kind of kid, my parents never had to tell me to do my homework because I'd rather make an A than, breathe the air or eat chocolate cake. So, and I don't know what made me that way. My children were not that way. I tried to make them that way, but they were not. They would turn a cartwheel over making a D minus. And I would have probably killed myself. I still might. I don't know. Uh, but you just don't have the same mindset. And again, COVID. I think that if people have the sniffles, they think, oh my gosh, I've got COVID. I don't need to be around other people. And that's valid. I get that too. One thing we have done in Southeast Arkansas, well, really most of South Arkansas, uh, a lot of school districts have incorporated a school-based health clinic. They will partner with some entity and you will have a clinic on your campus staffed by a nurse practitioner usually. And it makes it very handy for your employees. If they have the sniffles or they feel bad, they can run in and see the nurse and he or she will write your prescription if you need it and you can go on back to work. That helps some. That helps a lot. We had a school-based health clinic at my previous employment, and it was great. I loved it. I used it a lot. Another thing that a lot of school leaders around here have done is they've done attendance bonuses. If you are not absent over X number of days, you get this bonus check for however much you and your school board decide on. And I don't know, there are kind of mixed reviews on that. Some say that it works. Others say that the people who are absent are still absent, and the people who come to school still come to school. They just, you're rewarding the attenders. They're the ones who get the checks. And again, I don't know what accounts for people having a good work ethic or not. It's sort of fascinating to me. In my life, I've worked sick lots and lots and lots of times. And maybe I was foolish to do that. I don't know. But I don't think younger people in particular, view a job as something that you need to take care of. They're a little more, oh, well, I'll just get another job. But it has a couple of impacts on school districts when you have employees who are absent all the time. It's a financial drain on the district because you have to hire substitutes. And it has academic achievement impact. A substitute teacher usually is not going to have the quality of instruction that the regular teacher would have. And kids are going to do poorly on standardized tests if their teacher is absent all the time. And whether we like it or believe in it or not, standardized testing is here to stay, and that is the standard with which we are judged.
Yeah.
So that's kind of absenteeism in a nutshell, and it is a great challenge to all school leaders, all through Arkansas, and I'm sure probably through the nation. I doubt that we're a lot different than that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think it's one of those challenges which is spread out. It's not just Arkansas. I am in California and I can see it's a huge challenge here too. And it's all across. I don't think so. There's one state which is doing exceedingly well on this. Everyone's trying different things. Though I heard 3 different pointers which I want to go a little in depth of.
Okay.
First one was the kids, right? Because when we look at absenteeism, we look at from the kids' perspective. And you said poverty is one major reason. You said addiction.
It's a huge reason.
So when you incentivize them, I think incentivizing kids or bringing the social element back, right? Like those would be some things which would, in my humble opinion, that would be something that might work, right? Just because I think kids are more lonely. the social media has made everyone a more lonely generation.
You're
Plus,
right.
so how do you see social media as a way to impact it? Are there any ways that are you incentivizing kids to come in more? Are there free meals given out? Is there
Yes, yes, yes. We have such a high poverty level. We serve breakfast to everybody. We serve a mid morning snack. We're a 4 day a week school district, so we serve an afternoon snack too. Uh, we have a huge rate of poverty here. Arkansas is probably the most impoverished state in the nation, and Southeast Arkansas is probably the most impoverished quadrant of the state. Now, I may have misspoken on that. Mississippi may have that honor. Arkansas and Mississippi swap that dubious honor back and forth, but we're poor,
yeah,
and you know, I usually don't pay a lot of attention to what I call edubabble books, but I'm going to tell you, Jonathan Kozol's Savage Inequalities is a great book, and every educator ought to read that. Poverty is the single largest obstacle to overcome that a child has.
that's true. And I'm guessing a lot of that money for the poverty must be coming from the federal funds, right?
Yes, yes, we rely heavily on our federal funds.
So how is this year
Uh,
turning out to be? Are you guys figuring something else out, or how are you planning the budgets out?
well, you know, in small communities like this, church groups are always very helpful. At my previous school, if you needed anything, they would get it for you. When winter rolled around, and I would have my administrators jot down who they thought might not have a winter coat, and we would call the churches, and there would be brand new, beautiful coats show up. Uh, we have a backpack program here and at my previous school district where we send home beanie weenies, mac and cheese, that kind of thing, because food insecurity is huge, huge down here. And if you're hungry, you're not going to listen in class, you're not going to do well. Uh, if you have stayed up all night while your parent was at work, you're not going to be ready to learn, you're going to be sleepy. So you know, all of this works together. It's kind of the perfect storm, I guess, for school failure.
Yeah, it does. And one of the other things that I'm not sure if you've read this book called Grit by Angela Duckworth. There's a book.
No, but I need to read that.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
put that on my to read list.
it's one of those things which discusses between fixed mindset and growth mindset,
Yeah.
and how we kind of overcome from being in the fixed domain and going towards
Hmm.
growth. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I wanted to discuss the teacher absenteeism, which you discussed. Because if
Okay.
teachers aren't present, you're right. Who will kids relate to? Who will they be, seeing on a day-to-day basis? Because if you're bringing in a substitute teacher almost every alternate day, it connects a dissonance, right? Like dissonance between what is being taught, how it's being taught.
Oh, sure. Sure. Most subs are not academically prepared to go in there and teach. I have a doctoral degree and I couldn't go in and substitute a math class. I'd be going, oh my gosh, you know, where's my calculator? Uh, they usually just don't have the resources to go in there and teach what the teacher teaches. And I hate to say this, but in a lot of ways, a substitute teacher is little more than a babysitter sometimes. And so your student is going to miss the academic growth. It's going to cause gaps. And then when standardized achievement tests roll around, it's going to show up there too.
Essentially, are you guys facing a teacher shortage too?
Oh, yeah, there's a big teacher shortage. Now, our current governor has brought about a $50,000 a year minimum starting salary for teachers. And that has helped somewhat. It's been a financial drain on districts, but that's helped some. Now, alternative certification programs have helped us too, where you have a bachelor's degree and you think, well, I might want to teach. You can get into like an MAT program and you can get a job and you can get a temporary license or provisional license. And then you can move on to standard licensure. Alternative certification is big. We have several graduate programs here in Arkansas who address that. And that's probably been the single greatest factor in addressing the teacher shortage.
What do you think of the new technologies which are coming in? Have you played out with AI or, using that to help or even augment teachers' time? Because I think teacher efficiency is one thing. And if you can give
Yeah.
them more instructional time versus doing the admin task or building the lesson plans and all of those things, how does that come across?
Well, AI is here to stay.
Yeah.
So I think that if we're wise, we're going to show the kids ways to harness that. Now, I am a writer as well, and I use Grammarly a lot. And a lot of that is AI. It'll say, you could improve on this paragraph if you would change this word or that word. And I use that a lot. Grammarly is great. I think colleges and universities have embraced it. Now, most of them will have like I'm not real technological because I'm a baby boomer and we didn't have that stuff. But they have a way to check to see if it's generated by AI. And during my time as a college professor, if the word resilient was in it, it was usually AI generated. That is AI's favorite word is resilient. And testament, they like the word testament too a lot. But I think that you can use AI without committing plagiarism or not having your work be original. And we're going to have to be creative and show kids how to do that because it's here. It's not going to go away.
Have you guys implemented anything about that in your district right now?
I'm really not sure. I've only been on the job here about 6 weeks, and I'm really not sure what we're doing. But I have a couple of young principals who do a good job with addressing those kinds of issues, and I need to ask them about that. Actually, that's a good question.
And I mean, this is one of the other questions, right? Like when you are looking at a new job and you come in from a place where you've been there for a long time to somewhere new, what's the first 90 days plan that you have? What do you want to implement first? What do you want to see? What's your leadership style like?
Well, I want people to know that we're a team. It really does take a village.
Yeah.
For all children. And the school is a big part of their village. It's shocking to me when I realized that there are so many children who do not get a bite of food except what they get at school. So that was very shocking to me. My biggest thing, kind of getting my feet on the ground here, is just getting to know everyone. I'm still trying to connect names with faces. I want people to know that I'm actively involved in this school district. This morning, I did 3 classroom walkthroughs with the principal. I did 3 classroom walkthroughs yesterday. And I'm getting acquainted with the kids. I'm learning some of their names. We had a little fundraiser football scrimmage last night, and I was trying to find a shady spot and wound up down where the cheerleaders were, and I got to know that little group of ladies. And I have gone to volleyball practice a time or two and looked in and dropped in a chemistry class yesterday and was very pleased with what I saw. But we, in a small district like this, you're kind of a family, so to speak. So we're getting to know each other. We're getting to know personality styles, leadership styles, that kind of thing.
Is there something on your mind that you would want to take from the district you previously had and want to apply here already that you've seen?
Well, I'm a big football fan, and we won some state championships in football at my previous school. I would like to bring that here. That would
Yeah,
make me really happy.
I can assure you it would make a lot of people in the district very happy.
Yeah, well, this is the South, and we love football in the South. And we have a new football coach this year, and I think he's a very outstanding man. We've got 67 kids going out to play football. They're going to play for him. He's got that personality. They are going to want to please him. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy with what I see. Uh, I think that a lot of people think that, oh, England, Arkansas, that's the jumping off place. I would never want to live there, blah, blah, blah. I think they don't understand what a warm and inviting environment small towns in the South are. They're actually wonderful places to live. Yes, everybody knows your business, but it's still very nice. One of my school board members told me, they said, now, if you're going home at night and your car breaks down, you call us. We'll be there in 10 minutes, or we'll have somebody reliable there in 10 minutes. And I have every confidence that those men would do that. So there's a lot like that. And the school district is very warm and welcoming to the kids. I'm just thrilled with my principals because they have such a rapport with the kids. And we have to remember that sometimes our students are around their teachers more than they are their parents. So that behooves us to be good role models and to give our maximum every day, show up with our best game every day.
If you're talking to someone who's just entering this field, right, like looking to be an administrator, just becoming a superintendent for the first time, or even principal for the first time, what is this piece of advice that you would be like, hey, contrarian, right? Like something which not most people would think of, but something which has stood really well for you?
Well, first of all, you have got to sort of have thick skin because there are certain issues where you're going to make someone unhappy no matter what you do. And canceling school for bad weather is at the top of that list. You're going to catch it, whether you cancel school or whether you don't. So you have to kind of be self-confident in what you're doing, and you have to just let it roll off when people are not happy with you. And I would tell any beginning administrator, we tell the teachers, be firm, fair, and consistent with the kids. I would tell an administrator to be the same with faculty and staff. I like to have a friendly environment. People can come to my office whenever they need to. I'm not going to turn people away from talking with them. But that would be my best advice. And my other piece of advice would be to think outside the box, because school districts, rural school districts in Arkansas do not receive adequate funding. And we are constantly fighting the battle with, are we going to have enough money? So you need to learn to think out of the box when you're solving problems. You'll do that every single day.
Yeah, for sure. I think like understanding and figuring out a problem in itself is not something which everyone does. If we spend more time on figuring the problem out well enough, the solution generally shows to us, and we can figure out different ways to solve it.
Right.
It's one of the things which I used to teach kids, and I now, as a founder, do it in my company, that we need to first figure out what do we want to solve for, rather than just going ahead and doing whatever
Right.
comes from our mind. Because the first,
I have a leadership team that meets once a week, and the first thing I tell them is, it's okay to disagree with me in leadership team. We're figuring out solutions, and that helps me, and I hope it helps them.
yeah, it's amazing advice. Before I let you leave, right? Like, and I want to ask you one thing which no one has before, in the sense of if they want to understand how to live a good, successful life, right? Like, and this is not for administrators. I'm talking about students. And if they're like anyone who comes here and listens to Judy and like all her wisdom and everything else you've done, what is that one piece of advice that you're going to give to them that's going to stick along for a long time?
You've got to love it to be good at it. If you don't love it, go find something else to do.
That's brilliant.
Well, I don't know if it's brilliant, but
I agree with it.
if you don't like your job, you're not going to do a good job with it. And I am constantly amazed by the number of people who go into education who do not like children. Why do they do that? But if you don't love it, find something else to do. As badly as we need teachers, if you don't love it, go look somewhere else.
Yeah. An empty slot is better than a bad teacher.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
For sure. Because as a maths teacher, and I used to teach high school maths, one of the things I realized was most kids don't actually hate maths. They hated their math teacher at one point of time.
I can identify with that. Yes.
And it translates to it. And for them, the subject needed to be simplified and not made, hey, this is so difficult and no one understands it and everyone's supposed to hate it.
Yeah.
But it's logic and it's simple and it's problem solving, and it just takes a little bit more grit and resilient
Yeah.
to come across and do it. Thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome.